Hi everyone, my name is King IV and this is a custom Excel workshop on how to use index and match. So index and match is a really great combination to look up functions. And you're probably saying to yourself, okay, I already have Vlookup, I already have HLOOKUP, why do I need to know index and match? There's two main reasons why you want to use index and match above the fact that it does virtually the same thing as Vlookup. One, it does process quicker because you can look at specific columns that it's going to look up rather than a very large table array. Two, it also allows you to do the backwards VLOOKUP, and I'm going to explain what that means I'm sure you've run to this example. So let's first go over what a VLOOKUP is. So here I have data, and I'll include a link in the description to the data set that I'm using, but I've used in previous Excel workshop, so I'll include a link in the bottom for the Excel workshop so you can check out. And then here I have the region, location and region data, and I want to pull the region into this spreadsheet. So I'm going to insert a column here, and I'm going to call it region. I'm just going to simplify it a little bit here. So if you want to go, I'm not sure why that line is black there. If you want to go VLOOKUP, it's going to ask you for 4 arguments. 1, what's your lookup value? So pretty straightforward. Here's my lookup value. And then 2, it's going to ask you for your table array. So what are the set of Excels that you're going to define as your array, as the range that you're looking at? In this case, it's this. It's going to ask you the column that you want to match against, which is, or what you want to output, which is the second column. And then it's going to ask you whether or not you want to exact or true match. So, or exact or approximate match. The answer to this should be 99% of the time should be false, because I'm not sure why you're looking up approximate values. You should really cleanse your data if you are. So then you just drag it, and then I'm going to copy and paste. So really great way of pulling data over into your spreadsheet. And you're wondering, well, King, that's so simple. Like, why do I need to learn index and match? Let me show you how index and match works. Let me show you how the two functions work separately, and then I'll show you how they work in conjunction. So let me just reduce this column size here. So I'm going to do match first. So what match does, you're going to see here there's going to be 3 arguments. And it looks very similar to VLOOKUP in some cases. 1, it's going to ask you for your lookup function, lookup value. In this case, I'm looking for the first cell, and it's going to ask you for your lookup array. So what's your array? In this case, it's usually 1 column. So here I'm going to look up this column, and it's going to ask you the type of match. In this case, I'm going to put 0 as the exact match. It's very rare that you would use the other ones. And then here, what it will show me, if I go down here, and we'll do the comparison, it'll tell me where in the array. So in this case, I should expect in my array, column A on the region tab, that should be the second value. But let's go down to one. So this, for example, this should, Frontenac County should be on the 3rd row, which it is. Perfect. So that's how you do the match function, which is really powerful. It basically returns the row that they see your data in the array that you're looking at. Not even row, the order, because you could also do it horizontally. And then here, index, which is the star of the show. One, it asks you for the array that you're looking up. So in this case, I could be looking up this array, or I could be looking up, I'm going to give you an example here. I'm going to look up this array, this basically column E and F, not F and G, sorry. And then it's going to ask me for the row I'm looking up. I might want to look up 5, and it's going to ask me the column. And this is optional, actually. So here, if I do that, so in theory, it should be the 5th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then as well, 5. And then it should give me the second column, which is what it does. So perfect. So that's how you do the index. So really great function. Really great function. So what I'm going to do next is now, how do you combine the two? So the way you combine the two is you go index. It's going to ask you for the array that you want to return. So in this case, I go here, and I want it to return the region. So I use that, and then I'm going to just put absolute $signs here. Normally I would just press F4, but my keyboard that I have is a little bit different. And it's going to ask you to do the match. So in this case, I'm going to go back to data. It's going to ask you to look up the value. In this case, I'm going to pick C2. Oh. take away this. And then it's going to ask you what the array that you want to look up. In this case, I'm going to look up this array. Actually, I'm going to make it the same just so we can be consistent. So I'm just going to put some absolutes here. And then it's going to ask you whether or not you want an exact match, which I do. And then I'll close that. And then it's going to return, going to look up the value. And this runs, if you have a lot of index and matches versus a lot of VLOOKUPs, it's going to be quicker generally on the index and matches. So that's, you might look at that and say like, well, that's exactly the same as what I would do on a VLOOKUP. So, and that's true. Right now it's exactly the same, but I'm not sure how many of you've run into this situation. The only time you can use a VLOOKUP without changing your data is if the column that you're looking up, or the column that you're looking up, is before the column that you want to output, or on the same column, which I don't know why you would do that, but you could conceivably. So for example, if this was switched around and region was first and location was second, I couldn't do a VLOOKUP. It's not like you can do -1, -1. Your column, the column that you, the first column of your table array must match the value that you're looking up. But on indexes, you can do whatever you want. So here, index, it's going to ask me for the array, which is going to be first the output column. Actually, I can just get all of column A. And then it's going to ask me for the match, so I know it's C2. And then I'm going to look up column B, 0, 0. And it allows you to do that. It also allows you the flexibility if for whatever reason your data didn't line up exactly perfectly, there were 2 rows below, you could then adjust it, modifying your match of where it starts and begins. So index and match, even though they are very similar to VLOOKUP, it has its advantage, and it's something that I'd really recommend that you try learning and then seeing whether or not it fits with the functions that you're using, or if you're using a lot of VLOOKUPs and your Excel spreadsheets are starting to be slow, or you're running into that situation where the value you're looking up is not the first column, then consider index and match. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Don't forget to comment if you have any questions or any suggestions, and don't forget to subscribe so you can check out my other analytics videos and my other Excel videos. Thank you, and I look forward to speaking to you next time.